Hi everyone, Mon here, Intuitive Soul Savant. As promised, I'm back. Welcome back yourself. Today, we're going to be discussing the Mars conjunct Saturn, Mercury conjunct Saturn, and Mercury conjunct Mars in Aries. And I'm going to go through all of the signs with the houses. Okay, so this would be for your ascendant. Okay, so if you know what your ascendant is, this will be relative to the time that Saturn will be in Aries. I am going to take into consideration that Neptune will be there, and we'll discuss all of that. All right. So Mars has already conjunct Saturn a few hours ago, 4 or 5 hours ago, and Mercury has already conjunct Saturn. Okay, so that was a few hours ago. It's very interesting to me as a numerologist because here in Sydney time, Mars conjunct Saturn at 8:44 a.m., then Mercury conjunct Saturn at 9:22. Now, it's actually tomorrow here, Tuesday, Sydney time, where Mercury conjuncts Mars, and that is at 7:44 a.m. So the minutes is 44, 22, and 44 minutes. And if you go back onto your time zone, it'll be a different hour, but the minutes would be very similar for sure. Okay, so I find that very interesting. This is a big setup in Aries. This is huge for all of us because it's a new start. When Neptune conjunct Saturn, 0 degrees, 44 minutes, a couple of weeks back, this heralded in new energy for all of us, and especially spiritual energy, Neptune, with Saturn as the grounder, because Saturn is reality. All right, Saturn is the taskmaster. Saturn is discipline, but Saturn is reality and manifestation, grounding, earth stuff. Okay, we know that Mars is action, it's an activator. We know Mercury is the mind. It is the logical mind, not the spiritual mind, the logical mind. Taking things logically for what is real, not what is magic. Okay. And we know that Aries is all about the self. So in all of our charts, we have Aries in one of our houses. So there will be a big change undergoing in that house. All right. I think that, oh yes, it's a 2-year cycle. The Mars conjunct Saturn a few hours ago. And the next time that Mars meets Saturn, it will not be in Aries. It will be around 2 degrees of Taurus. So this is the one and only Mars conjunct Saturn in Aries. All right. Now, Mercury takes 12 months to go around. So Mercury will conjunct Saturn in Aries again. Saturn will be in Aries for 2 years. So we still have a lot of work for Saturn to do in Aries. We've had Chiron in Aries, so we've all had an opportunity to heal. And being in Aries, it's healing of the self, true self, being our true self, taking action for ourselves, not in a selfish way, more so in a way that we are owning our power. Okay, so let's get going with Aries. So all of this is in Aries rising's first house. And as I said, Aries is our identity. It is all about the self. It's about our physical appearance, our personality, our ego, our presence, how we carry ourselves, and the first impressions that we give others when they meet us. All right. So Aries, this is Aries risings. This is really big for you guys. because you have an opportunity with Saturn in your transiting your first house for a couple of years. You have an opportunity to be disciplined in any body work that you want to undertake, to be disciplined in anything new that you would like to start for yourself. Discipline because of Chiron being in Aries recently for a while and continuing. You've had that opportunity where healing issues could have come up. Now with Saturn in Aries, anything that you need to discipline yourself to do, to take action on, to help yourself, this is a fabulous time for that. Now, with Mercury conjuncting Saturn and Mars here, it drops into the mind in a logical way. So there would be clarity around your next move, Aries. Your physical appearance, like I said, with Saturn in Aries, you have the opportunity, if you wanted to start looking after your health a little better with discipline. It always takes discipline, whether you would like to start anything health-wise, at the gym. Aries is very action-orientated and athletic. So, you could use the opportunity of having Saturn in your first house and Mars in your first house for a few more weeks to go, where you could kick this off and get started for yourself, okay? Also, because it's all about the self, Saturn can make us feel a little restricted, constricted, okay, when Saturn is transiting a angular house, first house, angular house, seventh house, angular house, fourth house, angular house, and 10th house is an angular house. So having Aries on the ascendant, it's a very important house for all things Aries, all things you. All right, so if you're feeling a little flat, a little bit of melancholy, it's not so much depression when we talk about Saturn, it's melancholy. So if you're feeling a little heavy energy on the shoulders, that's very normal. That's what Saturn does. If you'd like to lose weight, Saturn is a great weight loss planet because it restricts, okay? Different to Jupiter. When Jupiter is strong in a person's chart or transiting a first house, we can put on a few kilos just naturally without even overeating, okay? But then we can lose it when Jupiter moves on. But with Saturn, it's a 2.5-year transit. So all I could give advice on for Aries is if you're feeling that melancholy, feeling restricted, that it's not forever, it's there for a reason. And if you do this work, Aries rising, you will be repaid by Saturn, okay? Whatever we do, the discipline we use Saturn for, there is always a gift at the end, you could say, all right? And the opposite can apply. If we do nothing and we don't invest in ourselves whatsoever, it can become very hard with Saturn, the taskmaster. So I suggest use this energy. It's a beautiful energy. You're going to have Neptune transiting that first house, which is going to elevate your consciousness, your conscious awareness, perhaps maybe doing spiritual work, if that's where you're at. And, that is ongoing. But having Saturn, Mars, Mercury conjunct, like we have today and tomorrow, this is a great new start for you to work on all things Aries. And if you'd like your chart done by me and have a consultation with me, my details will be in the description box. So I wish you all the very best, Aries. And I'll be back and we can talk soon about other topics that are going to happen in your chart. Thanks, Aries. Bye. All right, Taurus. Now, Taurus, Taurus rising, you have Aries in the 12th house. Now, this house is all about secrets. It's about isolation. It is about our subconscious mind. Also spirituality, because Pisces actually rules this house. But for you, Taurus rising, Aries is the ruler of your 12th house. It is about retreating. It's also about hidden enemies and also about our mental health. Now, when I talk about hidden enemies, I'm talking about people that you have in your life that you may be dependent on, codependent on, and they may have a lot of power over you and try and direct you into different here, there, and it just doesn't seem to work out. And you wonder, what's going on? Well, with Aries on your 12th house cusp, Taurus risings, it's always a good idea that when you meet Aries people, be aware that that energy is a hidden enemy to you. I don't mean to run around and just get rid of all your Aries friends, but own your space. Take your power, Taurus risings, and consider any advice you get from anyone, but especially Aries. Now, with Mars conjunct Saturn and Mercury conjunct Saturn, and then Mercury conjunct Mars tomorrow in the next 24 hours, this house of retreat, you may feel, Taurus risings, that while you have Saturn and Mars and Mercury conjunct in the 12th house, that you're feeling very tired. You cannot seem to find that energy from Mars. And so rest, retreat, step back into meditation, self-care, evaluation, and into the subconscious, and allow what's in the subconscious to surface, because Mars is an activator. So Mars conjuncting Saturn in the 12th house is activating the Saturnian energy. And Saturn transiting the 12th house is asking you to quiet down, go within, and assess your life before the new life comes when Saturn moves into your first house and Mars moves into your first house, your ascendant. All right, Taurus rising, this is very important. In that isolation, in that retreat time, maybe you could focus on your inner work, your spirituality, because we are made up of all these different areas in life, and spirituality is a part of that. So use the Saturnian energy to discipline yourself for spiritual practices, if that is what you're looking for. And with Mercury conjunct Mars and Saturn, there is a clarity there on what you would like to do, while Saturn and Neptune, of course, Neptune will be transiting your 12th house for many years to come. Neptune is the higher octave of Mercury in that it is our spiritual awareness. Neptune rules the ethereal, what we cannot see, what we cannot touch. However, we're aware that there are those aspects to life. So while this is all going on in your 12th house, Taurus rising, this is an opportunity to investigate what you actually cannot see, feel, or touch, but you are aware that that energy is operating in your life. So you may feel a little melancholy. Melancholy is a part of having Saturn. Saturnian energy is restrictive. It may feel a little heavy. So if you're trying to take action, just using the Mars energy, it's going to be restricted for you. So I suggest, while Mars is there over the next few weeks, that you take the time to rest, because you'll find it very, very hard to take the action that you'd like to take because the energy just isn't on board. If you would like to have a further look at your chart with me in an astrological consultation, Taurus rising, my details will be in the description box. I wish you the very best. Take it easy. I'm giving you permission to rest because all of this going on in your 12th house. Retreat, rest, go within. Thank you, Taurus rising. I'll see you soon. Gemini rising. You have Aries on the 11th house cusp. Now, the 11th house is all about our friends, our community, our hopes, our wishes, our humanitarian awareness, our social groups, also technology, therefore social media. And having Aries there and Mars conjunct Saturn, Mercury conjunct Saturn, and Mercury conjunct Mars, as well as the new moon that we've had previously, and Neptune as well transiting your 11th house for the next decade or so. This is a happy, happy house. There's no doubt about it. Hopes, dreams, and wishes, socializing, social media, the internet. There's lots and lots that a Gemini rising can do in this 11th house, because Gemini is all about communication. And Mercury rules Gemini. And so you're very much a part of this mix today and tomorrow, these transits. And this will be an opportunity, especially with Neptune transiting Gemini risings, where you may open up that logical mind and take a look at spiritual matters that don't ordinarily interest you. You may find over the next decade or so that this does interest you, and you'd like to take a look at different areas of life that aren't just right in front of your face. Now, Gemini risings, Mercury, as I said, rules Gemini, and the clarity that comes from Mercury conjuncting Saturn and Mars all together is going to be something that you're very aware of. Now, Saturn in the 11th house requires discipline, and it requires logical practicality. So if you are desiring to take a look at spiritual matters, there will be a practical process, and it will take discipline, right, to create, to bring your hopes, dreams, and wishes to pass. But with Saturn there, it is going to take time. Saturn moves slowly, and it moves in a way that when we do the discipline day by day, there is a reward at the end of this transit. And just as likely, if you do nothing and you don't use this energy at all, then you may hit a wall or two, because Saturn is a taskmaster. Saturn can feel very heavy energy. It's very melancholy energy. So you may find that the friends that come into your life in this next 2 years are very serious type people. The groups that you join, they're very serious groups. Okay, so Mars is activating this serious energy in your 11th house. What you do with it is up to you. I've given you some flavors and some energies. If you would like to work further with me in a consultation, going through your charts as I'm teaching as I go, my details will be in the description box, and I'd love to get together with you. So any questions, pop them in the comments. But Gemini, you may get very disciplined in social media, very disciplined in the connections that you make, very disciplined in bringing your hopes, dreams, and wishes to reality, which is Saturn. But always aware with Neptune transiting your 11th house that thy will be done not yours. So you can put it out there, you can desire, but be aware that we are co-creating in the 11th house. Thank you, Gemini rising. It'll be good to see you soon. Okay, Cancer rising. You have Aries in the 10th house. Wow, that's a great place for Aries to be because Mars rules Aries. You have that fiery energy to create a career. Now, the 10th house is all about our career, our public life, the way that others see you, your ambition, your status, and the achievements that you make in this life. I'll just pop my glasses on here. The authority, of course, 10th house. Capricorn ordinarily rules this 10th house. So the authority, and that authority can be in the family, it can be in the office, it can be in your career. So, having a Cancer rising, you always, since birth, have had the energy to create a wonderful career for yourself. Usually when there's planets in that 10th house, that's even better. So your reputation here. Now with Saturn transiting this 10th house, Saturn's very comfortable in the 10th house. Saturn rules Capricorn, which is the solar ruler ordinarily, okay? So Cancer rising, if you put your head down and your butt up for a new career or a leveling up in the career that you have now, in an authoritative position that you have now, there could be a lot of discipline required with Mars conjuncting Saturn as we speak and Mercury. Mercury will bring the clarity of where you are to go next. Now, remember, it's not top-down authority anymore. That was the patriarchy. We are moving into new energy now. So any authority that anybody on this planet carries, there is an integrity that goes with it, all right? And I know you Cancers, you're a feminine energy, you're the polar opposite to the Capricorn. You're the family person. So, you will have that integrity for any authority that's given to you, any status that's given to you. You need integrity, all right? And Saturn will help you day by day to bring any future desires that you have to either change your career or to level up in your career or to be seen differently as far as status goes. Saturn will help you step by step, all right? If there's any melancholy, which can often come with Saturn energy, that would fall around your career, okay, or the way that people see you, all right? But just know that it's Saturn and it will pass in a couple of years, all right? But this is a great opportunity, Cancer, with the help of Neptune and also that new moon that we had in Aries, which was a restart for everybody. The Saturn conjunct Neptune at the early degrees of Aries. This is all allowing you, Cancer risings, to move forward with your career, level up with your career, level up with status, level up with authority. But remember, take your integrity with you. Love you, Cancers. And we'll speak again. If you would like me to consult and work with you on your chart into the future, my details will be in the description box. So thank you very much, Cancer risings. We'll see you soon. All right, Leo risings. Now, that includes me, Leo. Leo risings, I have a Leo rising, and all of this Aries energy falls into our 9th house, which is a lovely house, by the way. The sun loves to be in the 9th house. It's exalted in the ninth house in Aries, and we've just had the sun transit through this ninth house. We had Saturn conjunct Neptune at the beginning of Aries, which is a new start for everybody. We have this new 2-year cycle of Mars conjunct Saturn, and then Mercury bringing the mental clarity to Saturn and Mars by conjunction in our ninth house. Now, our ninth house has always been about higher consciousness, higher awareness, study, university studies, education, higher education, travel, overseas travel, as opposed to local travel, overseas travel, philosophy. Our belief systems settle into this ninth house. The law, that's why you may be involved in a law dispute or a court case. That can always come around when there's a lot of energy and action in the ninth house. It's also about publishing. So anything to do with the higher octave of Mercury, right? So you may decide to go to university. Saturn is there for a couple of years to give you the day-to-day discipline for hiring your education. You may decide to take overseas trips. If you don't take overseas trips, with Mars activating this Saturn and Mercury conjuncting, is this little stellium that's happening now, plus all the energy that has pushed us in to this Aries stellium, you may have a lot to do with international people, international areas of life. So the ninth house, it's about our belief systems. So over this time, we may take another look at what we do actually believe, because our beliefs create our life. Now, having Saturn in the ninth house when it comes to travel and what have you, it's a sensible energy, Saturn. The ninth house ruled by Sagittarius and Jupiter, can sort of fly-by-night sort of travel. Well, that's not going to happen when Saturn is transiting the ninth house. Saturn will require planning, step by step, okay? Having Neptune transiting this ninth house for a decade or so as well will have you looking at your philosophical beliefs. What have you believed through your life, and how have those beliefs served you? The only danger with this ninth house is that, it can be a very righteous energy in the ninth house because it's higher education, it's philosophy. So it can sometimes be used as righteousness, like this is the truth, and everybody has to believe this truth. So Leo risings, be very careful that you don't run off into any occult groups or start behaving that what you believe for yourself is what everybody should believe for themselves. So having Mars conjunct Saturn and Mercury, you've got Mars energy there to either start a course, apply for a course, to educate yourself. You may even want to write a book. This is the house of publishing. Maybe you have written a book. Leo risings, this is the time to get it published. And these days you can self-publish. Having Aries on the ninth house, self-publishing is a fantastic way to go, because Aries is all about the self. So there's a few things to be aware of, not running off into cults, not becoming righteous, and not doing slapdash long-distance travel in the next couple of years, right? But that Saturn activating Neptune, even though Saturn will move on, it's a new cycle. So that cycle is going to last for over 30 odd years. All right. So that's very important to remember. But I wish you all the best, Leo risings, because the ninth house is a lovely place to have energy and to have growth and study and expand our awareness, to expand our knowledge, and therefore expand our beliefs. And our beliefs create our reality day to day. So I wish you all the very best, Leo risings. If you would like to work with me as a consultant on your chart, teaching you more about astrology, I'm open for consultations, and my details will be in the description box. All right. Thank you very much, Leo. We'll see you soon, Leo risings. Virgo rising, you have Aries in the 8th house cusp. Thank you for being here, Virgo. Now, in the 8th house, we have our shared resources with partners or families or little groups, trusts, that sort of thing. It's where the energy of taxes are, inheritances. It's also the house of transformation, and I will get to that. The house of sexuality, death, and psychology. So, Virgo risings, this new era for you is all about deep inner shadow work, because our wealth comes from our health, and that is our mental health, our emotional health, and our physical health all come under the banner of psychology and how we feel about ourselves. Now, the 8th house, yes, it's ruled by death, but it may not be death in the sense of dying, of course. Somebody may pass over while Saturn and Neptune are transiting this house. But the activation today and tomorrow with Mercury in the mix, conjuncting Mars and Saturn, is the clarity to move forward with shadow work, inner work, work around sexuality, work around addictions, work around the deep awarenesses that 8th house holds. Maybe inheritances will come up in the time that Saturn is transiting this 8th house. And then into the 9th house, if there's any issues as far as inheritance goes, it can be taken further when Saturn moves into your 9th natal house. But Virgo risings, the 8th house isn't an easy, comfortable house. And Saturn brings melancholy, and it brings a certain heaviness to the energy that we feel on a day-to-day level. So it's nothing to get depressed about. All we need to know is the awareness. And Saturn is great for the discipline that it takes to do that inner work, to do the shadow work, to die to the old self, to transform into the new self. And it's very important that we do transform in this day and age, because the whole planet is in a transformational stage in its journey. And with Pluto in Aquarius, that includes the collective. So Virgo, whichever way you want to go with this 8th house energy, I encourage that we do that inner work. We dive deep. We take the discipline from Saturn. We take the clarity from Mercury conjunct Mars and Saturn, and we take the energy to take the action to do that deep inner work, or to deal with inheritances, or to deal with sexuality, our sexual partners, our partners' inheritances. It's a very deep house, the 8th house, Virgo risings, but you can do it. But use the discipline of Saturn. You have Neptune transiting the 8th house. requiring that level up in spirituality, which is gained by doing the inner shadow work to come to peace and serenity. Virgo rising, if you would like me to work with you on your chart, my details for a consultation is in the description box, and I'd love to help you out there. Thank you, Virgo risings. Get to it, go within, and enjoy it. And enjoy it on the other side when Saturn finishes in the 8th house, and you can reap the rewards of that deep inner work. Thanks, Virgo. See you soon. All right, we're halfway through. Libra rising. Aries, as you'd know, if you know anything about astrology, Aries is in the 7th house cusp. Right, and this is your partnerships, marriages, relationships, contracts with other people, business partners. It's also a house of your open enemies, and I'll get to that. Your committed relationships, your alliances. This is all about those that we work closely with and have within our bubble. Now, having Aries on the 7th house cusp, you know, Aries is the opposite to Libra, and Libra actually rules this 7th house energy, which is about partnership and relationship. Aries energy is a little bit about the self, well, a lot about the self, but an aware Aries, Libra risings, will come to the awareness that it isn't just about ourselves, it's about ourselves and others. So Libra and Aries, when they become aware and awakened, they realize that it's not just about one, it's about both. Okay, so having Mars conjunct Saturn in the 7th house here and Mercury conjunct both of them, Saturn and Mars, bringing us clarity. This could bring to you, Libra, the discipline, Saturn, and the commitment, Saturn, to work slow and steady at maybe a new relationship, to work slow and steady on any existing relationships, to make them better for both parties. This could also be the reality that any partnerships or alliances that you have really aren't working for you, Libra risings. Maybe you don't want to rock the boat, Libra risings, but I ask you that if any of these alliances or partnerships are not working for you, you take the stand of the Aries to care for yourself and to dismantle those relationships if they are not serving you, Libra rising. This is the lesson for Libra risings, is that it's about both. We cannot be here to people please, and having Aries in the 7th house, maybe, we can act a little passively compliant when that's not really what we want. Okay, it's called passive aggressiveness. So if it's not working out for you, any of these alliances or relationships, Saturn's there to show you the reality of this. Mercury is there to give you the mindfulness that it isn't working out for you. And Mars is there in Aries, in your 7th house, to take action towards either bringing partnerships together or releasing them and letting them go, or starting a new relationship. You've got the discipline and the commitment from Saturn and the action from Mars and the awareness of the clarity from Mercury. Okay, Libra rising. This is all about not only relationships and partnerships, but it's about looking after the self as well. Are your relationships serving you? Not in a selfish way, in a balanced way. Libra rising, you're all about balance. So look into that 7th house. Is it commitment you're needing, or the strength of Saturn and the reality that it's not working. You've got to let it go. Thanks, Libra Rising. If you'd like to work with me, my details are in the description box. I'd love to consult with you and help you with your chart and moving forward in life and relationships. Thank you, Libra Rising. Scorpio Rising, how are you? Now you have Aries in the 6th house, and having Aries ruling your 6th house. 6th house is all about our health, our wellness, our daily routines, and our work, our day-to-day work. It's all about our pets, our habits, addictions. It's also about service. And so service in the sense of service to others in a balanced way, Scorpio Rising. So you having Aries on the cusp of the 6th house, that gives you a lot of power and a lot of energy to deal with your health, exercise. It's very athletic, that Aries energy. So having Saturn transit here for a couple of years, Neptune for over a decade. Having Saturn there, you will have the discipline to start a new health routine, to stop any bad habits, 6th house, that may be affecting your health. Are you overworking? Aries keeps going, has a lot of energy, and sometimes becomes a workaholic in the 6th house because they have that service orientation of wanting to give. Also, the daily routines are very important. The Aries energy can be very impulsive. What will help you, Scorpio Rising, if you get a plan with Saturn transiting this 6th house for a couple of years, a diary, step by step, how you're going to organize your daily routines, to include health habits, to form some sort of balance in that 6th house as far as service goes, not giving more than you can handle, and also being able to receive. And also having Aries in the 6th house can be very self-aware. So if you're not serving anybody and you're only serving yourself in the 6th house, this would be something to look at. But really, day-to-day habits and health is very important, Scorpio risings. To have Saturn transiting this 6th house, the discipline is there to look after your health, to set up some daily routines, to let go of habits that aren't serving you and bringing in new habits. You have Mars in this house, this 6th house, to give you the energy to get going, to do the changes that are possible for you while Saturn is transiting that 6th house. The day-to-day affairs, having Aries there. Aries is the fire sign. It's always wanting more action. Saturn is not like that at all. So Saturn is slow and steady, wins the race day by day. So if you're feeling a bit flat, Scorpio rising, about your day-to-day activities, it's not forever. There's a reason, right? There is a reason that you would be feeling a little flat about that, but as I said, it's not forever. But at the end, when Saturn leaves your 6th house, you'll know exactly why you disciplined yourself, why you put the action towards your health, looking after yourself, your daily routines, not workaholicing, and just gaining some sort of balance, which is the opposite to Aries, balance. Scales, the scales of balance that Libra holds, being opposite in your 12th house. All right. And the 12th house where Libra sits can sometimes be matters hidden. So balance may be hidden to you, Scorpio risings. Think about that. Do you need more balance in your life? Well, you can activate that with the Mars transiting the 6th house in the next month or so and Saturn in the next 2 years. And Neptune's there to look after you, to watch over you like an angel, unseen, just to keep you actioning and looking after yourself day to day, your health. All right, Scorpio rising, thank you. If you'd like to work with me, my details are in the description box, and we can get together and work through your chart. I would love to do that for you. Thank you, Scorpio rising. You take care. Look after your health. Sagittarius rising, how are you? Big energy. You love Aries energy, so this is very comfortable, all of this Aries energy, but the Saturn in Aries may not be so comfortable for the Sagittarius, because the Sagittarius rising loves the freedom, loves the ability to just get up and go. And with Saturn transiting your 5th house, and today Mars conjuncting Saturn, Mercury conjuncting Saturn, tomorrow Mercury conjuncting Mars. This is all about creativity, Sagittarius risings. This is about romance, children, fun, performance, risk-taking, as in gambling, and our hobbies. It's a joyful house, the 5th house. Now, Sagittarius rising, when Saturn comes along, Saturn carries a little melancholy with it. And Sagittarius doesn't really like that melancholy, because Sagittarius loves freedom, and especially as a Sagittarius rising. Now, the discipline that Saturn can bring to this house is quite wonderful. Maybe you would like to create a child. You're at that age where you are starting to think you would want a child. Maybe there's things that you need to change about your life. The discipline you need to do that is there with Saturn. Maybe you already have children, because this is the house of children, and Saturn may have you having to be a disciplinarian over these children that you already have. Maybe you aren't in that field, but you are a creative. You are an actress, actor, what have you. You have the energy and discipline from Saturn to put your head down and your butt up and to create. This is wonderful energy for you. You'll have Neptune there for over a decade or so. Neptune is also very creative. It's the ether that we use to manifest creativity into reality, Saturn. So Neptune's very much on side as far as Neptune rules music, film. So, Neptune is watching over like an angel, transiting this 5th house, but you're going to have Saturn there for a couple of years. And Mars is giving you that energy now. You have Aries on that cusp. You are a pioneer when it comes to creativity. Start something new. Saturn is there to give you the discipline to do that. Sometimes Aries is great starter, has full ball energy, Mars energy, bang, out the gates, but it peters off as it goes on. So this is the best time, having Saturn transit, this 5th house, to have the energy and the discipline to get to the end of the line and not give up halfway through, right? So creativity in any form, whether you're creating a child, whether you're creating a home space, because you've had Saturn in the 4th house. So, something new. Maybe you built the house when Saturn was in the 4th house of your horoscope, and now you need to add the creative touches. The energy is there now, but Saturn is slow and steady. So there's no overnight quick results, Sagittarius rising, which Sagittarius loves. Let's go. But with Saturn, it's, let's go, but let's take it easy. Slow and steady wins the race. Let's take it step by step, because that way we can make it real. We can manifest it and make it real. So Sagittarius risings, use the discipline of Saturn conjunct with Mars, the energy to take action, and Mercury in conjunct these both to have the clarity to go, but slow and steady, not overnight. No overnight successes with Saturn, that's for sure. Love it. I love that 5th house for you, Sagittarius rising. And you've got great opportunities there now. And if you'd like to work with me, my details will be in the description box, and we can have a look at the whole of the chart. And there'll be more connections for you as far as creation goes, whether it's a child or a product, an idea, bring it into form. I'm all for that, Sag. You take care. I'll see you soon, Sag risings. Aquarius rising. Yeah, we've got Pluto in that 1st house, transforming you like nobody's business. And for you, you have Aries in the 3rd house. And the 3rd house is all about communication, just like what I'm doing here now. It's about local travel. So, local travel, not just in your own town, but to the next town, to another state, on your own continent. Okay, that's local travel as far as I'm concerned. This is about your peers, not so much your friendships, your work peers, also about cousins, extended family. It's your early education, the community that you place yourself in, and anything that you're wanting to learn. But it's more of a mundane learning. It's community courses, that sort of a thing. Aquarius rising, you have Aries in this 3rd house. Aquarius is the rules, the collective, the people, social media. That's very good Aquarius energy. So having Saturn transiting this 3rd house, Aquarius rising, if you wanted to start a social media channel as far as the communication goes, this would be a wonderful time. You being so amazing, Aquarius risings, and higher awareness and intelligent, having Aries in the 3rd house cusp gives you that energy to get out there. And Mars conjuncting Saturn, Mercury conjuncting Saturn, Mercury conjuncting Mars, that three planet stellium. This energy is saying, yes, let's get out there and communicate, whether it's with the extended family, with the community, whether you start a YouTube channel or a blog, anything where you can talk or communicate or bring ideas to. All right, Aquarius rising, it's a tricky time having Pluto transit your 1st house. There's no doubt about that. And even with the Mercury in this stellium with Mars action, do something, and Saturn, make it real, in that area with Mercury, just get the clarity even. Just have the clarity around it. You may not want to start it now, but we have 2 years that you can use, and you're ruled by Saturn as well. So be aware of the discipline, be aware of the melancholy of Saturn in your communication area, in your extended family, your cousins, your brothers and your sisters, all that sort. Okay. It is tricky. This Pluto transiting the 1st house, Aquarius rising, there is no doubt about that. But have that Aries, get out and about, get out into the community. Discipline yourself to do it. Discipline yourself to move out of the shadows and the darkness if Pluto is bringing that to your 1st house. Get out into the community. Talk it up. Discipline yourself to get out into the community. All right. I'm here for you, Aquarius risings. I know a lot about Pluto. 16 years I experienced Pluto changing my life. So if you would like to sit down with a consultation with me, my details will be in the description box. And, we can go a long way together. There's no doubt about that, because this is the time for you, Aquarius risings, for transformation from Pluto. And having all of this in your third house, let's get started. Let's get started on something that will help the transformation along. All right. Thank you, Aquarius risings. Last but not least, that's for sure, is our Pisces rising. And our Pisces rising is having all this Aries energy in their second house of money, personal finances, your value system, your possessions, or what you have, your talents, the resources that you have, and your self-worth, very much your self-worth here. And with Aries on the second house cusp, Aries is very much about their self-worth. As far as I am, therefore I am. Now, Neptune is there to watch over this second house like an angel of protection. But having Saturn in this second house, you may find that your resources, the money that flows in and out, may be a little bit restricted. All right. Also, Saturn carries a little melancholy with it. So your self-esteem is in the second house. And if Saturn is poo-pooing your self-esteem, just be aware of that. But use that Aries energy with the Mars conjunct Saturn, Mercury conjunct Saturn, Mercury conjunct Mars. This stellium of energy is kickoff time for Aries. And in the second house, you could use the discipline of Saturn to raise your self-worth, whether that's through any medium that you come across, Pisces rising. To raise your self-worth in the second house will raise your finances, your resources. They are all connected. Having Aries in the second house, you're a pioneer. That's one of the talents of Aries. The will, the action to pull in more resources. The energy is there for you, Pisces rising, to work on your resources, your finances, your self-worth, the values that you have. And having Saturn activated by Mars, and Saturn will be there for a couple of years, there may be restriction before there is expansion. So the discipline that's required in that second house, be aware that it's not forever. If Saturn is requiring any sort of discipline, if it is bringing melancholy, it's there for a reason, but there is always a payoff at the end. So do something with that second house. Pisces ascendants can often just go with the flow, but having Aries in the second house, that is your house of actioning. And Mars is there, will not be back there for 2 years. So get up. Take the energy, take the discipline from Saturn, the clarity from Mercury, conjuncting both of these to the same degree. Take that energy and run with it, Pisces. No other sign have I said run with it, go for it. But Pisces rising, I am saying that to you, because Pisces often sits back and allows life to just happen. But at the moment, it's asking of you and your will, Aries, your will. Use the will energy that you have at hand in that second house for expanding your resources, if that's what you want. But it will require discipline. It's not an overnight thing, all right? Use the discipline of Saturn to move your life forward. But it won't happen overnight, and don't do it in a rush, like Aries sometimes does. I love you, Pisces. Your risings, you're absolute sweethearts. Okay, and having Saturn there, Saturn is there to help you in the long run. All right, Pisces, if you would like me to work with you on your astrology chart and a consultation, my details will be in the description box. Thank you so much. All right, well, if you're still here at the end of this video, thank you. I'm not going to say too much because I'm not sure how many people will be here at the end, so I don't want people to miss out. So thank you all for watching yours, watching others, watching everybody's, what have you. I will see you next Saturday on this channel. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely, lovely stellium of Mars, Saturn, and Mercury. Bye for now.